I'm John White, and with me today is Annette Peterson, and Annette is a master gardener here in the Doñana County Extension Office. And Annette, you brought some samples today.
I sure did, John. I did a walk around the neighborhood yesterday, and the first thing I want to ask you is several of the mesquite trees in the yards in my neighborhood have these kind of deformed leaves. They're scrunched up, and then several of them have like a stripped branch, and it's mainly at the tips of the trees.
Okay. There's a couple things going on. One, there is a little aphid or psyllid that is hitting the ends, the new growth, and causes it to be real kind of sticky and distorted, grows out real weird. And then we also have a mesquite webworm that forms a little web and webs all these leaves together like we have here. And there's a little worm in there that eats the leaves on it. And so some of the stripped off branches where you don't have any leaflets left on it, that's probably from a mesquite webworm that's gotten into it. And again, that can be easily controlled with dipel, Bacillus thuringiensis, as a biocontrol, or you can use chemical control of malathion or diazinon. If they are the aphids, then probably the diazinon or malathion spray would do a better job. You can try the insecticidal soap, but again, being late in the year, you know, it's not going to kill the tree, so you could just let it go and then kind of get after it a little earlier next year. But that is a fairly common problem on mesquites. What else do you have?
Thank you, John. Well, one of the neighbors had this japonica, and we thought that it was very interesting because the original part is variegated, and as you can see, now we have the solid green. And we're wondering, how did this happen and what can we do about it?
Okay. This is a kind of a sport that's come off the Silver Queen. Since this is a variegated, you know, typically the leaves are yellow and green, but every once in a while we'll either get an all yellow stalk to come out of it or an all green stalk. And a lot of people don't notice them till after they're, you know, been looking around a while. You can see this one's had several years worth of growth, and this particular instance we just take this green one off, just clip it off. So that'll take care of that. What else do you have for us?
Well, I've got a bird of paradise, and I hate to say this is out of my yard, but it is. And I just cut a branch off, but the main stalk looks much worse. It's yellowed, and it's next to a wall with a lot of reflected sun, reflected west sun. I don't know what's causing that.
Okay. But with it putting new growth out, apparently the root system's still alive on it, so it's trying to come out. You know, seeing what the rest of the plant looks like would be important, but the desert bird of paradise does have some dieback on it, which is kind of normal on it, so things do die back on it. With it getting cooler, it is going to cease its rapid growth and start to shut down its growth cycle. So, but I'd check around the base. You know, if there's a lot of reflected light, you may want to look at maybe putting something that's not, you know, either some kind of material, trellis or something on the backside of it that helps to break some of the reflected heat off of it. And then check around the base for any signs of any kind of root damage, girdling roots, anything like that that might also be damaging it.
Well, I just recently increased the water on it because I thought maybe it needed more water, and that's when this new growth came out. So I've probably been underwatering it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I have this Mexican bush sage. It's irrecognizable at the moment. I dug it out yesterday. It's 4 years old. The first 2 years, it was 4 to 5 feet tall and had beautiful purple blooms. It was spectacular. Last year it started this dieback. This year, as you can see, it's pathetic, and I guess you might say I've given up on it because I dug it out.
Okay. Well, looking at this, a lot of the roots have shown quite a bit of rot, decay on them. These are, of course, some from older branches that may have been there for a number of years, so it does die back during the year, so it puts out new growth. But some of the root system, even on some of these that were alive, are not showing real good root growth on them, so there could be a disease in here. I would suggest probably taking a root sample and sending it into the diagnostic lab to check for disease.
Okay.
These sages here aren't particularly long-lived as far as just numbers of years. A lot of times you do have to come in and periodically replant them, put in some new
Okay.
plants and take out some of the old, so they're kind of a weak perennial, but they are very spectacular when they are in bloom and do quite well. But we may have some kind of disease problem going on here also, so we want to be sure and check for that. But you're right, this is kind of a lost cause right now.
Yes.
So, but for next year we do want to check those roots to see if there's a disease problem in case you want to replant.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Annette, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.